My name is Mark, and I had been married to Laura for the last 18 years. We have a 17-year-old daughter named Emma. I work as an IT consultant, spending long hours at my desk, ensuring everything is running smoothly and my clients are satisfied. It was a quiet evening in November when my phone buzzed in my pocket. Wiping my hands off the keyboard, I checked the screen. It was Ethan, my old college buddy. Strange. He rarely contacted me outside of social gatherings. I swiped to answer. Mark, you need to get home, man, now. Ethan's voice was urgent, almost panicked. My stomach sank. What's wrong? I asked. There's a moving van outside your house and a couple of guys are hauling your stuff inside. Your wife's there, too. Thought you should know. My grip tightened on the phone. Laura? I asked, my pulse racing. Yeah, man. You need to get back here, fast. Without wasting another moment, I shoved my phone in my pocket, slammed my office chair back, and sprinted out of the office. My mind was racing. What was happening at home? Was it a robbery? Reaching the elevator, I pressed the button, barely noticing the other people in the building. The moment I was in the parking lot, I fumbled with my keys, throwing open my car door and flooring the gas. The tires screeched, the engine roared, and I raced towards my house, not knowing what I was about to walk into, but certain that this wasn't a simple robbery. Reaching my driveway, my heart pounded in my chest. I slammed the car door open and stormed up to my house. Standing at the door was a man, tall and imposing, barking orders to two movers loading boxes into the van. My gut churned. Hey, stop right there, I shouted. The man looked up, barely glancing at me. Mind your own business, he muttered under his breath. That was all it took. My fist connected with his jaw before I could even think. He collapsed to the ground with a grunt, but I wasn't done. I pounced on him, fists flying, rage boiling inside me as I beat him into the dirt. You think you can steal from me? I growled, landing another punch. In broad daylight? Another punch landed. He groaned, trying to shield his face, but I wasn't stopping. My heart was thumping in my chest as I grabbed my phone, dialed 921-1, and spoke through gritted teeth. There's a man stealing from my home. I've got him restrained. The dispatcher's voice was calm, authoritative. Sir, I need you to step inside and lock the door. Officers are on their way. I scoffed. I've got this covered. Just then a shriek rang out from behind me. Mark, what the hell are you doing? I froze. Laura was running toward me, her face pale with shock. She dropped to her knees beside the man, her hands shaking as she touched his bruised jaw. Why did you hit him? She screamed at me, her voice laced with outrage. Do you know him? I snapped, still reeling from her sudden arrival. Yes, she spat, her eyes blazing. He's my ex, Ryan. A cold wave of shock crashed over me. What? That was all I could manage before I drove my foot into Ryan's groin, making him writhe in pain. You're my wife, I spat, fury thick in my voice. And you have an ex? I kicked him again. In front of me? You've been lying to me? Laura shrieked. Stop it, Mark, stop! But I wasn't finished. What's this van doing here? I demanded, turning toward the moving truck. Ryan groaned beneath me, still cradling himself, but remained silent. I kicked him again, this time out of pure frustration. The two movers stood near the truck, their arms crossed, amused smirks playing on their faces as they watched the chaos unfold. I noticed their detached amusement. The sirens wailed, and two police cruisers pulled up. Officers stepped out, hands resting on their holsters, sizing up the scene. Me, standing over a battered man. Laura, kneeling beside him, and the movers watching like spectators. One officer, broad-shouldered and stern, walked toward me and placed a hand on my chest, guiding me away from Ryan. Step back, sir, he ordered. I didn't argue, but took a step back. My fists still clenched. I'm the one who called, I said, voice tight with frustration. My neighbor called me, said there were movers at my house taking my stuff. I rushed home and found this guy here. The officer raised an eyebrow, glancing at Laura, who was still kneeling beside Ryan. Ma'am, he said, his voice cold but firm. What's going on here? Laura looked up at him, her face flushed with guilt and anger. This is Ryan, she said, her voice trembling. He's my ex. We've been in contact. I'm leaving Mark for him. I'm taking my half of the furniture. The officer's gaze shifted back to me. Did you inform your husband you were leaving? He asked, his tone sharp. Laura hesitated before looking at me with a defiant glare. No, she said flatly. The officer sighed, pinching the bridge of his nose in exasperation. Ma'am, to take any of this furniture, you need to file for divorce first. You need a legal order for the assets to be divided. This right now is theft. Laura's face went pale. You're not taking anything, the officer continued, voice firm. Put everything back. You can leave with just your clothes. The rest stays. The movers looked at each other before reluctantly starting to unload the van, returning the items inside. You're going to take all of this? The officer asked her, his patience wearing thin. You have no claim to it. Laura shot me a hateful look. You need to leave, she snarled. I'm staying here. This is my house. I stood there, my jaw clenched. This house is in my name and you have no rights to it, I said, my voice cold. Laura's face twisted with fury, but the officer stepped in. Ma'am, you can't just take it. If you want to leave, you're going to do it the right way. The tension in the air was thick as Laura stormed inside, returning with 2 suitcases. I didn't hesitate. I want those bags checked, I said, my voice steely. Laura froze. You want to humiliate me? She hissed. Don't you trust me? No, I said coldly. I don't. The officers opened the bags, and inside I found a few of my personal belongings, including my laptop. I pulled them out, holding them up. I need those, Laura muttered. Get them from Ryan, I replied, my tone final. Laura slammed the door behind her as she left, taking Ryan with her. The house felt hollow, eerily quiet. Emma came home shortly after. I was sitting on the couch when she walked in, her backpack slung over one shoulder. She looked at the disarray and dropped her bag with a frown. What the hell happened here? She asked. I looked at her, took a deep breath, and said evenly, Your mom's left me. She's with Ryan now. Emma blinked. Ryan? She asked, her voice matter. A fact. Yeah, that's her ex. She's been seeing him behind my back. Emma nodded, almost dismissively. She told me about him, she said. She's always loved him. She just stayed with you because you were the safe choice. But now he's back, and she's with him. I blinked, stunned. You knew about this? I asked. Yeah, Emma said. She's with him because he's her true love. I felt a knot tighten in my chest. So you're happy she left? I asked, trying to steady my voice. Yeah, she said, shrugging. She deserves to be with him. The words stung like a slap. Well, I said, trying to maintain my composure. She made her choice. I'm not going to stop her. I turned away, feeling the weight of everything crashing down on me. Emma didn't say anything, but I could feel the quiet judgment in the air. The damage was done. Laura had chosen her past over me, and now I was left to figure out the pieces,